What's going on, guys? B Scott here with you. It's the first 4 downs, and football is back. Today, we got Thursday night football preview. We're going to go over some fantasy football sit and starts, and my pick for who's going to win the game tonight. And guess what? It's not even close. So keep it locked and loaded right here at the first 4 downs. What's going on, guys? B Scott back with you, and we're going over the Thursday night football game. I'm going to give you the fantasy starts and sits. I'm going to give you my picks to who's going to win the football game. So before we get started, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff. We're going to have all your start sits at every position each and every week. We're going to be giving you the information so that you can crush your leagues. So let's dive right into it. Let's start with the fantasy football sit starts. We'll start at the quarterback position. We got the Dallas Cowboys versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Dak Prescott, if you drafted him in fantasy, guess what? You're going to be starting him here. It's a tough matchup. They might be missing some offensive linemen here, but I think Dak, in a negative game script type game in which we expect, Tampa Bay favored by 8.5, that Dak's going to be able to put up some numbers with the wide receivers on the outside. So you're starting Dak Prescott here. Tom Brady, obvious start. Dallas Cowboys defense, it was almost non-existent last season. Yes, it should be improved. I still think that secondary has a lot of holes on it, so Tom Brady's an obvious start. Both these quarterbacks, you must start them here. The running backs. Now, Zeke Elliott, this is a tough spot, period. Tampa Bay, giving up under 1,000 rushing yards total on the season last year. Second fewest fantasy points to the running back position, but they did give up the most receptions to the running backs last season at 101. So I think Zeke is going to do okay here if you drafted him. It's almost a must start every single week, so it is what it is, but I think Zeke could still be an okay option. Now, obviously, you got to weather the storm here. Tampa Bay, great against the running backs, only give up 100-yard rusher last season. So on the flip side, I personally like Ronald Jones in the start here. I think he's going to get a lot of run, especially if Tampa Bay gets up early. Now, Leonard Fournette, if you're in a position where you need to start him as your RB2, or I would stray away from a flex option, but if you have to start him as your RB2 in a deep league, okay, you can have Leonard Fournette in your starting lineup. But outside of that, I'm going to sit on Leonard Fournette just to see how this backfield is going to shake out. I think Ronald Jones, personally for me, is just more of a safe play here. They could see a decent workload, 80 to 100 rushing yards. Dallas was terrible against the run last season, so definitely be starting Ronald Jones and Fournette if you absolutely have to. The wide receivers. On the Dallas Cowboys, you're starting CeeDee Lamb, you're starting Amari Cooper. In possible negative game script, there should be a lot of yards, possible touchdowns to be had here. Michael Gallup, I don't know if there's going to be enough production. This is not a great matchup for the Dallas Cowboys, but CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, you're going to be starting these guys. On the flip side, Tampa Bay, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, these are all must-start wide receivers. All of them are going to see enough targets and volume, especially against the Dallas Cowboys defense that was terrible last season. I'm firing all these guys up. At the tight end position, Blake Jarwin, we don't know what his workload is going to be. I would like to start him for the Dallas Cowboys. Tampa Bay give up 10th most fantasy points to the tight end last season. Jarwin could find some success here, possibly find the end zone, but I can't trust his workload coming back from a torn ACL off last season. So I'm not starting tight end on the Dallas Cowboys side. Rob Gronkowski, obviously there's lots of mouths to feed for Tampa Bay, and Rob Gronkowski, if you drafted him as your starting tight end, you're going to be starting him. It is what it is. It's a good matchup. Dallas Cowboys, not very good overall as a defense. I'm mentioning it over and over again. Just fire up all the guys on Tampa Bay. They should score a lot of points here. Now, as for the game itself, Dallas Cowboys, I don't see them being able to win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. Dak Prescott hasn't seen a single snap all preseason. This is going to be his first game action and missing some guard work. It's going to be tough, in my opinion, for the Dallas Cowboys to be able to handle that front seven of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, period, bar none. I think Zeke's going to struggle in this game a little bit. Hopefully he can get enough pass work to bolster his fantasy production, but I just don't see the Dallas Cowboys being able to hang with the reigning Super Bowl champs. And on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers side, they look great, period. And all their offensive weapons are going to be fully healthy. Everyone's going to be a go. It's just going to be tough. So I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Dallas Cowboys tonight, 31-17. That's my game score. And honestly, it could be even bigger blowout than that, favored by 8.5. So that's it. That's your fantasy football starts and sits for Thursday Night Football. My game picks for who's going to win the game. So for the first 4 downs, once again, if you like the video, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and enjoy. It's time to get ready for some football. So for B Scott, I'm out.